some lights here. There we go. It is Happy Passover. All right, Happy Passover. And I want to kind of say that looking at the calendar and what everybody else is doing, sometimes somebody might say, "Well, why is it that we're doing it on tonight?" And Pastor Johnson, you always take the time to explain it. So I said, okay, let me take the time tonight explaining why tonight starts the Passover. First of all, I just want to say Happy Passover. Happy Passover to each and every one of you. Queen Cleo, how you doing, my sister? One of our moderators coming in tonight up in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah's in the house. So yes, Passover. Passover 2025 starts tonight. And I want to kind of go over that so people can kind of understand when we calculate things, why is it that we do what we do? Because there's so many other camps out there that's doing other stuff. I think some people had Passover, I think almost 2 weeks ago or something like that. But I wanted to explain why we do what we do according to the scriptures. That's what I like to say, according to the scriptures. So everybody that's here in the Fort Lauderdale class, the Orlando class, checked in with those brothers and sisters up there. They're getting themselves together. I got some people from Fort Lauderdale that is up in the Orlando area. Been up there for the past few days, and they're looking forward to spending Passover with Orlando. We're going to be tuning in tonight to Senior Pastor Henry Buie, who's going to be bringing the lesson tonight. Can't wait for that to happen. So why is Passover? Why is it tonight? Why is tomorrow the 14th of Abib? So actually the 14th of Abib, when the sun goes down completely tonight, it will be starting the 14th. So I figured that I would kind of give you some information on how did we get to that point, or to this point. On March the 29th, in Jerusalem at 1:57 p.m., and I said p.m., and the reason why I said 1:57 p.m. is because orbit-wise up in the beyond the clouds, it was calculated to be the new moon. Notice I said 1:57 p.m. So when we say 1:57 p.m., it's you don't start the month at 1:57. A new month starts when the day starts, and a day starts when the sun goes down. So on March the 29th, although the new moon, according to NASA and those that monitor this thing using the gadgets that the Lord let them use, they were able to look at that and say in Jerusalem, the new month would have started at 1:57 p.m. on the 29th. So which means when the sun goes down on the 29th, it starts the 30th of March. And that's when a day starts. That's when your month starts. Your month starts when the day begins. So from the 30th of March to last week's Sabbath, it would have been the 7th of Abib. It would have been 7 days. 7 days later, which is tomorrow, which starts tonight, is 14 days. So the 14th of Abib starts tonight at sundown. So that's how we know, in simpler terms, how we did it. Okay? And it's just that simple. It's just that quick, just that simple. So again, the new moon started on sundown the 29th of March. Sundown the 29th of March started the 30th of March. when the sun went down on the 29th. So from the 30th of March all the way to last Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath, it was the 7 days, the first 7 days went by. And then that would make tomorrow's Sabbath another 7 days, which will make it the 14th of Abib. Okay, that's what makes it the 14th of Abib, which starts tonight. Now, the 15th of Abib will be on Sunday, the first day of the week. We just say Sunday, commonly called the first day of the week. So tomorrow night, as the Sabbath is ending, the weekly Sabbath is ending, it would start the 15th of the month. And the 15th of the month will be a Sabbath. So Sunday this coming Sunday will be a Sabbath because it's the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay? So that's how we do it. So now some sources that you can go to. You can go to Time and Date Calendar. That's a good source to go to. You can go to other situations also, and you will just look up the new moon in Jerusalem, and it will tell you that the new moon it will start on the 30th of March. So it'll say March the 29th at 1:57 p.m. But again, you got to start the day when the sun goes down. And when the sun goes down, you start the day, you start your month at the beginning of a new day. And that is where we came with the 30th. And then again, from the 30th of March to last week on the weekly Sabbath, that was 7 days, and another 7 days, which would be the 14th of Abib, will be now. So when the sun goes down tonight, it will start the weekly Sabbath, which will also be the 14th day of Abib. Hence is why we are here. So happy Sabbath to every one of you. Glad that you're tuning in with us. And happy Sabbath. And, sometimes the 14th day of Abib can fall. Let me just say this. The 14th day of any fixed day of the month can fall on any given day of the week. It can fall on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, or day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. So being the 14th is a fixed date of the first month of Abib, it fell on a weekly Sabbath. But in the year when Jesus was put into the hands of sinful men, Passover fell in the middle of the week. That's when it fell on a Wednesday. And that day, at the third hour of the day, he was going from place to place. And the 6th hour, while he was on the tree, there was an eclipse, and that from the 6th hour of the day to the 9th hour of the day, which would be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, from 12 to 3. There was an eclipse. At the 9th hour of the day, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And he said, I thirst. So Joseph of Arimathea begged for the body of Jesus so that the body would not remain on the tree on the Sabbath. So if they would have not done anything, the sun would have went down and the Sabbath would have came in. That's why they say that day was a preparation day. The 14th of Abib was a preparation day for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? So being that it was a preparation day, they didn't want the body to be on the tree, say cross, but on the tree on the 15th. So that Wednesday, the body, before the sun went down, because the scripture says that the grave was nigh, very near. And they put him there before the sun went down on Wednesday. 3 days and 3 nights later would take you to the weekly Sabbath. 72 hours later, before the sun went down. Before the sun went down, Jesus had resurrected. He resurrected 72 hours later from the point that he was placed in the tomb. 72 hours later from that point, he resurrected, which is why he resurrected on the weekly Sabbath in that particular year. Okay, in that particular year. That's why when the sun goes down, sun went down, the Sabbath ended, it went into the first day of the week, and they took it upon themselves to go there, the followers of Jesus, to take ointments and spices. So when the ladies got there, they saw that the tomb was already rolled away because Jesus had resurrected on the Sabbath. In fact, the angels told them, "Why seek ye the living among the dead?" Remember